to Gil's Garden Herbs and More. It is like almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so the middle of the day, the middle of the summer garden tour. Why am I doing this in the hottest part of the day? Because while it's cool in the morning, I'm pulling weeds and cleaning house and doing things that I have to do while it's cool. And this videotaping is work too, and I'm sweating like crazy. But this is just when I have the time to do it. So it's been a battle. It's been really hot since the 1st of May. I mean, it went from cold to super hot, like hundreds, and it hasn't let up hardly at all. A couple times we got down in the 90s, but most of the time it's been up in the hundreds, and a few times in the a little bit in the 90s. Pretty much that's it. And my plants are like, what? Help, it's hot. They're really complainers, really complaining to me. No, but no, actually, I'm really surprised that I'm doing as well as I am with my plants. I'm happy with my garden. It's been hard. I got a lot of bugs moving in, and so it's been like a battle. I'm in a war with the bugs, but for a while they were gone. But now I'm getting weird ones I haven't seen before. Like I broke into it. I was smart. I broke into a strawberry, and there was a big fat green worm. It looked like a big pea sitting there, just a little bit elongated from a pea. So I said, I don't think I want that one. That kind of ruined me from the strawberries for the rest of the day. But yeah, let me show you around. I think I'm going to start with the hottest, droopiest part, and then we can go to the prettier part, because this part of the garden, we didn't have any electricity this morning. I guess they're going to start doing rolling blackouts because our lake's like at Deadpool and they don't have enough electricity. So I didn't get it watered today. We've got our electricity back, but I've been watering other parts. And anyway, here we go. Okay, this is the in-ground, and like I said, even the other day when I did a video, it was the middle of the day, and my okra looked great, even in the hot. But, and this morning I picked a huge for me, I try not to let them get too big, zucchini. I still don't have any more tomatoes. I'm just not doing well with tomatoes. It's been too hot to set fruit on the blossoms. Although the zucchini's still doing it, and the okra is still... They're still producing. Isn't that pretty? I just think okra blossoms are beautiful. And it looks pretty bad right now. But it's just because it's so hot and they didn't get watered this morning because of no electricity. So let's go to a prettier part maybe. Oh, before I do, over there is my marshmallow plants. And I haven't harvested them in a while. I can harvest some more off from them. But they're doing well. Okay, so now let's move on. Okay, this is my asparagus bed, and there's some parsley in there and some tulsi in a pot, and this is some berries, and this is elderberries, and I had been picking the blossoms, and it just keeps blossoming, so I'm going to let it go to berries, and it's trying up on the end. Let me see if I can show you. Okay, do you see how it's trying to make the little berries? I'm excited. This will be my first berries. Okay, now what I'm doing here is I weed-eated way down the weeds, and I put a big piece of cardboard here, and then I'm going to lay some more weed cloth on top of that. So that's what that doesn't look great right now, but it's in a process. Like I said, I just do little bits by little bits as I can. Along the fence here, I just can't keep up with everything. So there's not a whole lot here. These are my deep, dark purple meated sweet potatoes, and I've never grown the dark purple before. I'm really excited about that. Really am. And anise hyssop. And over there that is a spicy oregano. It's hot. It's hot and spicy. And I put spearmint in there. And you know what's weird? This kale came up. I planted it like in February. It took about 6 months to come up. I mean, it was up, but just little tiny, and all of a sudden it took off. So, yeah. Okay, and then let me get around here. These are regular orange sweet potatoes. Okay. Let's go down this path. That's my skull cap. I moved my Rose of Sharon over here so it would get more water, but it hasn't got a lot of water either. So I've got to move that sprinkler and try to get some water over on the left side. But, yeah. And these are lemon cucumbers that are growing like crazy, and they're really pretty. Everything's pretty much the same. As it has been, it's just gotten a little bigger. To me, I don't notice it. You might if you haven't seen my garden in a while. I picked a bunch of jalapenos. I'm going to make some jalapeno poppers. Stacy's Home Cooking or something like that has a good recipe I'm going to try. And then that's my witch hazel tree is really growing this year. And I just harvested that holy basil so I could have more sun for my pomegranate tree in the middle. And they're taking off again. I've got another little pomegranate there. And my flowers and purple basil, I think, and lemon thyme, my sauce tomatoes. They're the ones that aren't real juicy but good for sauce. And then I've got a tasty one in the back that's not putting any on. Now my sauce tomatoes do have a few on there. But let me tell you, it has really, really been a battle. Now, what I have done over here, I've got a watermelon there and a cantaloupe right down there. You can see it down over there. I took some of my horehound piece and brought it over here. I want it to take off here because I want to start doing some things with horehound. That's a really good medicine too. There's another plant that I want to get. It's called Rehmannia. And it's pretty, but they say it's hard to grow. It almost looks like foxglove, but it's not related to foxglove because you use the whole plant. When you buy Rehmannia from the store, you usually get the root, but it has tremendous amounts of medical benefits, and it's a beautiful plant as well. So I'm really, if I could find a plant of it, I want to try to grow it because they say it grows well in a greenhouse. It likes heat. It doesn't want to be too wet, so it ought to do good here. You don't have to worry about being too wet at all. Strawberries are doing okay. My hawthorn is really struggling, as you can see, which is sad because hawthorn's really good for you. Over here in the shade, my chocolate mint's doing pretty good, and I've got another one there, and then I've got some begonias here and another little plant that just a few things here. This is kind of a little workstation area. Even my lamb's ears over here are having a hard time. Oop, you're still going. Sorry about that. I kind of just I'm not sure what took and what didn't. I hit the camera, so I'll have to wait till I edit and see. This elder is not doing well in the pot. I'm just trying to keep it alive in case I do go. My plans have been thwarted. Have nowhere to go move my trailer to. And so I'll get the camera off that thing, bring it over here where it's a little prettier. I like my little area here with all my flowers and delicata. I did a video on that. I'm not sure when I'm going to schedule this one. I think you will have already seen that by the time I get this one up. This plant here has been giving me huge bell peppers. This is the one that I overwinter in the greenhouse. I've picked most of them. There's a few smaller ones here, but I mean, it's really been nice. That green stalk has not done well at all. And it's supposed to have been the good potting soil, and I try to keep it water good. Now my thyme is liking it pretty good. That's about, and a few flowers, but a lot has died. I planted some tomatoes that I pulled off my tomato vines, and they're alive, but that's about it. um, okay, and then my little tunnel here with the shade, my shade clothed tunnel. I've got more lemon cucumbers there. And I've just got all kinds of little things, and I've scattered more seeds in here. What comes up, comes up. I mean, you know, there's some chamomile there. There's, what I did was I went to Lowe's, and I bought a couple pots of bell peppers that were just about dead. So I stripped the dead lower leaves off, and I'm trying to get them to regrow. There was actually 2 in a pot. And because they were practically dead, she only charged me for 1 plant. 1 pot with the 2 plants in it. Although I got 2 pots, but they were really just about dead. But actually, you would not believe this, but they are actually growing new leaves and looking better than they did. They really do look better, but I'm trying to bring them back. And over here, I've got all kinds of things. I think these are going to be the little tiger, small tomatoes, those tiger striped ones. I've got a few pods of black-eyed peas. Most of my black-eyed peas died. More holy basil. My kale has been doing wonderful. I've been drying that. There is absolutely, this is 4 or 5 years old, and I have not got any figs at all. No figs on my fig tree. These are mortgage lifters, and they're struggling. It's just been super, super hot. That had the really good potting soil in it, but I don't know. But overall, I'm pleased because things that shouldn't be doing well are, and others are really struggling. It's just been a really weird garden year, but it's okay. I've got stuff that's alive, so I'm happy with it. My kale is doing wonderful, knock on wood. I've been able to keep the bugs out of it. The bugs came earlier, and I did some neem oil spray on that with the soap, and they've been doing pretty good. So I've got a cantaloupe coming along here. I'm happy about that. And my delicata. Inside, there's just all kinds of little plants. There's carrots, there's parsley, there's echinacea, chamomile, basil, I got to get that sunflower out of there. It's had its day, but I'm letting the birds eat the seeds off from it. There was green beans, but they keep dying. There is some black-eyed peas, and they keep dying. I can't get peas or beans to grow much at all. So I have some bush beans there, but most of them died. I got a couple that are there that made it. Some more basil that you can look and see. There's just all. That's another tomato that I haven't got any tomatoes on. I picked 1 Kellogg's breakfast tomato this morning. That's the only tomato I've gotten. Those are a pretty good sized tomato. So yeah. And this is my pot of horehound that I had clipped some off and dried. And then I transplanted some over there. This little jalapeno, I got a couple off from it, and then it's just been struggling. And my chives are wonderful. So, and I've got more basil in the back. But yeah, I've just got all kinds of little things everywhere. A lot of basil here. This is the tea plant, you know, like you make black tea from. It's struggling too. I don't know if it's going to make it. Maybe if I can keep it alive, maybe next year. Hopefully next year will be better. But yeah. So over here, this is my ashwagandha, the only one that lived. And more bell peppers, different types of bell peppers, and a zucchini that I've harvested several little zucchinis off from. And I've got herbs tucked in here and there and everywhere, so you'll see that. This one keeps giving me wonderful tasting cucumbers. So there's some potatoes there. I've got some potatoes down in the other end in a laundry basket. And behind this is a little chaste tree. So that's pretty much my garden tour. I've got More cucumbers there. And it looks like they're more, I don't know where all the I didn't think I had that many lemon cucumbers. They all just happen to live in little niches and pockets. Like I've got some nasturtium way back there, and in my little tunnel I did too. Okay, and then out front, this used to be nice out here, but with the dogs we were babysitting and now our big puppy dog and the big one and all that, it's just a mess out here. But I will show you my grapes. I already picked my Concord on the other two vines. These were supposed to be like a light purple, but they're not getting that. I've already picked a few and ate them. They're not. They're green with seeds in them, but they're really tasty. Very good. Here's my nectarine tree. I've picked a few of those. They're pretty good. I think they need to get a little riper, but those were soft, but there's a slight bit of bitterness to them. Hopefully it'll change and they'll do better as the tree gets older and stuff too. I've already got all the peaches off my little peach tree, but this apricot had died, but a little peach came from the roots, probably what it was grafted onto, and these are really tasty. They're clings, so, but usually clings are pretty tasty. But I got a few little peaches from it, so I've eaten a few of them, and they're really good. Both trees of peaches were excellent. Of course, we've already harvested a bounty of apricots from the front and the backyard. My apple trees are struggling in the heat. I don't have a lot of apples. There's a few. Here and there's one or two. As you can see there's a little one here, one there. I picked one the other day. They're not quite ripe, although you could eat them. They taste good, but they're pretty green yet. But I had to cut around a worm. But there's a few apples. And then the ones in the back, the horses pretty much get as many as they can reach, and if they can reach them, that's the ones that I usually reach. So and that's pretty much it. My chickens are trying to stay cool down on this end where the shade is. The only place in their pen that's got shade other than their little coop area. So they're pretty hot too. I've been trying to keep them alive. When it was 112, the last time it was 112, week or so, a couple weeks maybe. Time goes by so fast. Then it was irrigating out here, and they were just walking in the irrigation water and just standing in it and staying cool. But now there's no irrigation water, so they're pretty hot. And this is one of my little Houdinis. I've got two that get out of that pen and come back up here in the yard. But at night, they, just before it gets pretty dark, I'll come out and they'll run up to me and squat down for me to pick them up and go take them and put them in their cage. But now if I go out before they're ready, then they run from me because they're saying, "No, Mom, I'm not ready yet." Back here, I've got several aloe vera all along, but they're really struggling too. That black thing we use to catch field roaches and stuff, we lift it up and the chickens have a heyday eating them. But it's a good trap to catch them and try to keep them down. So, yeah, my aloe vera really, I got to drag the hose back here and water them again. I have to be careful though because we haven't had rain. Well, the whole year since last summer, only a couple times. Not much, hardly at all. So our water tables are dropping, and I don't know, guys, what we're going to do. We just have to take each day and do the best we can. I know the rest of you have some struggles going on too. These are more orchards too, that apple orchard over there. There's some apricots and stuff, and we can have those too, but usually they're goats and the horses. And we used to, but I'd pretty much leave that because the other couple that lives in the house now, they don't pick too much of them either. They might though. She's just been busy with the new baby and everything. So, but they're all family of the people we rent from. So we have plenty of fruit usually, which is really, really nice. Okay, so I'm going to end the tour with that. These are my blueberries, which are really struggling. I've lost one. It looks like the two in the middle are about gone. I've got more echinacea up here that's struggling. Everything. I've got a lot of things that are struggling. That's more sweet potatoes that's struggling. And there's just too much heat. Just too much heat. That's a fairly new one that's actually grown a lot. And I'm leaving all those weeds around it because they partially shade it and it's actually helping. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I really need to get a big shade thing to put up here too somehow. But anyway, overall, considering the heat and the water situation, I'm happy. And I'm thankful for my garden. I enjoy it. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but I really do enjoy it. And I will bid you all adieu. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. I hope you like my channel. Share it on your media. I'm trying to get it out because it doesn't get pushed out unless somebody pushes it out. Because YouTube, it's just too small, I guess. They don't want to push the smaller ones as much as they do the bigger channels. So anyway, I will catch you all later. I hope that your garden is doing well. When I watch y'all's videos, I always give you a thumbs up. So, God bless. Bye.